Good morning, dear students. Welcome to the today's geography session. We have already started with lesson number 7, soils. Okay, and then yesterday we saw the introduction of the lesson where we have seen that how is the soil formation done. The weathering of the rocks turn into powdery material, and with this powdery material, then biotic and abiotic components they are formed due to the decomposition of the remains of plants and animals. After this decomposition, the product we get, that is called as humus, which makes the soil very fertile, and thus this is the way the soil is fertile soil is formed, okay, which is used then for agriculture purpose. So now let us continue our lesson on page number 40. Okay, open your textbook, page number 40. Always remember, earth doesn't mean soil. Okay, remember these, that earth is not as same as the soil. Soil contains the powdered form of weathered rock. Now only I said you, yes or no? It is the powdered form of weathered rock, partially or completely decomposed organic material, and innumerable microorganisms. So what does the soil contains of? It contains of the powdered form of weathered rock, then partially or completely decomposed organic material. Yes, we have seen the decomposition process, and innumerable microorganisms. This is all contained in the soil. Interactions between biotic and abiotic components in the soil go on continuously. This interaction between biotic and abiotic components is going on continuously in the soil. Plants get nutrients required for their growth from the soils. So from where do the plants get their nutrients? From the soil, and that's why due to this nutrients the plants are growing. So these nutrients which are got from the soil helps the plant to grow. Soil is a complete ecosystem. Yes or no? This is a complete ecosystem. Earth is also a substance. The potter uses it as raw material. For what is soil used? It is used as a raw material by the potter to make the different pot items. Then a farmer uses soil as an ecosystem. So potter is using as a raw material for making various pots or pot items, and the farmer is using soil as an ecosystem. Fine. So there is some activity, you can try this at home. Take 3 flower pots of the same size. 3 flower pots, you can see in the picture also, 7.1. Keep one pot empty. Fill the second pot with water after closing the hole at the bottom, and third pot with soil. Okay, you have to keep one pot empty, fill the second pot with water after closing the hole at the bottom, and third pot with soil. Can you see in the picture? See, one is empty, one is with water, and one is with the soil. Put a few seeds in all of them. You may use acerio, peas, gram, fenugreek, wheat, green gram, coriander seeds. These are all the names of the seeds. You can put few seeds in them in all the pots. Keep all the 3 pots in the sun, and water the empty pot and the soil filled pot for 4 to 5 days. What you have to do, keep all the 3 pots in the sun and water them, okay, for 4 to 5 days. Observe and answer the following. What happened to the seeds put in the empty pot and pot filled with water? What happened to the seeds put in the pot filled with soil? What do you learn from this? So you have to do this activity, observe what is happening. According to this activity you do, keep water, put seeds, water it for 4 5 days, and observe what happens in all the 3 pots, and what do you learn from this. Okay, so you try this activity. Geographical explanation. An important component of the living world on the earth is plants. So what is the important component of the living world on the earth? Is plants. For the production and growth of plants, soil is indispensable. Means what? Indispensable means absolutely necessary. Soil is absolutely necessary for the growth of plants, for the production of plants. They provide support to plants. Also, they provide in the soil, the roots of the plants are formed, yes or no? So, the soil holds the plant, they give support to the plant. Vegetation is abundant in the areas that have fertile soils. So the wherever the soil is very fertile, the vegetation, the growing of plants is very dense, is very in a large scale. Example, the equatorial regions, there is fertile soil, so the vegetation in that place is on a large scale. However, in the areas where the soils are not fertile, vegetation is scanty, means less. Okay, so which are those areas? Deserts. The soil is not fertile, so there the production of plants is less, scanty. And where there is a shortage of soil, vegetation is not seen. Example, in the polar areas. So in the polar areas, actually the soil is very short, there is very less soil available there, so the vegetation is not seen. So remember these examples. Though favorable climate, availability of abundant water and sunlight are necessary for the growth of plant, these alone are not sufficient. Fertile soils favor plant growth. So even if the climate is favorable, where there is lot of large scale water available in that area, sunlight is also there, but only these factors will not be helping in the growing of plants. Okay, what else is needed for the growth of plants along with this is the fertile soil. So you can understand how important fertile soil is there. Think about it. Why do equatorial regions have fertile soils? Why is the vegetation sparse in deserts? So you can think it and answer the questions. When man realized that sowing of seeds in the soil leads to the growth of plants and yields crops, he started using soil as a resource. So when man understood that if we are putting seeds in the soil, then what happens? It leads to the growth of a plant, and he can yield crops. He can get crops and he can grow so many types of crops. When he understood this, then he started using soil as a resource, means he started using that soil for the purpose of agriculture. Gradually he realized that the fertile soils along the riverbeds give higher yields. Also then by practicing, he understood that wherever there are riverbeds, along the riverbeds, if you are doing the agriculture or trying to grow the plants, then it yield higher crops, more on large quantity we get the crops, okay, on the river beds. Why? Because there is abundant of water available there. Hence, he settled in the valleys and started living there in groups. So, what happened as he understood that on the valley beds, on the river beds, yield of crops is more. So, he started settling there along the river beds in the groups. This led to the rise of ancient river valley civilizations. Example, the Indus civilization. What happened? Then this led to the rise of ancient river valley civilization. Means people started settling along the river valleys, and which lead to the civilization, the change, modernization. Yes, and this example of this is Indus civilization. For the growing population, man started producing greater amount of food crops. So as the population went on increasing, man started producing more and more food crops. He realized that crop production and prosperity in agriculture mainly depends on the fertility of soil and the optimum availability of water. So man has understood that if he wants higher production of crops, then what is necessary? The agriculture mainly depends on what? On the soil, fertile soil, and also the maximum availability of water. Hence there emerged competition among, turn your page, there emerged competition among people to discover fertile lands and settle there. Now, what happened as man realized or he understood that fertile land is very important for the agriculture? So, what he do? He started discovering the fertile land. Okay, he started searching the fertile lands, and then wherever he found fertile lands, he started settling there. Later, for getting richer harvest, he made efforts to increase the fertility of soils. Then what happened? Again afterwards, man started doing what to make the land more fertile so that he can yield more crops. Okay, he started using fertilizers. Okay, so that he can get rich harvest, means he can get good crops, large quantity of crops. So he made efforts to increase the fertility of the soils. In the process, use of different fertilizers became a practice. I told you, to make the land more fertile, man started using fertilizers. Yes, different fertilizers were used to increase the fertility of soil, which led to record agricultural production. So what happened? Then there was more and more agricultural products, increase in agricultural productions, and so much increase in agricultural productions that it started making records. Yes or no? This means man succeeded in making records in the agricultural production. uh, I will stop here for today. Okay, hope you have understood the lesson. So bye for now, take care and have a nice day.